The Meg was directed by John Turteltaub, who directed While You Were Sleeping, Phenomenon, the two National Treasure movies, and The Sorcerer's Apprentice, among a whole bunch of other movies. I enjoyed The Sorcerer's Apprentice, despite it being a Nicolas Cage movie. Nicolas Cage is very hit and miss to me. After Face Off, to me, his career took a downturn, even though he had some good roles. But that's another thing for another day. This was interesting. Spoilers here on out. I just want to say that right now. If you've seen Deep Blue Sea, you've essentially seen this. This is like just a pumped up version of Deep Blue Sea, just without the shark experimentation, making smarter sharks. Great idea there. Deep Blue Sea, though, one of my favorite monster movies of all time, or creature feature movies. But if you've seen any movie, like any of the Jaws movies, and if you haven't seen any of the Jaws movies, what are you doing? Watch the first one now. The second one, and third one, fourth one. We do not talk about the fourth one. If you've seen a lot of these monster movies, you know what to expect. Jason Statham plays a man named Jonas, who, after a rescue mission 5 years prior, goes bad, in the sense that two of his rescue crew die because he has to seal off this whole thing because this megalodon's attacking this sub that he was rescuing people from, and that sub basically explodes right after they leave. The guilt eats at him. People don't believe him that some kind of creature was attacking the whole thing, and why he had to abort the mission that quickly, and why people unfortunately died. He's in Thailand and he's drunk and this kind of stuff, though still has abs of steel. That's the one thing about Jason Statham, and by the way, from the Transporter movies and from the Expendables and a whole bunch of other stuff. He plays his role just fine. I like Jason Statham. He's always entertaining. If you got Jason Statham in a giant 70-foot megalodon, which is the main star of the movie, then you're going to get something pretty damn good. At this one station, this underwater and above water research station, populated by a whole bunch of stereotypical characters, and also normal and also pretty fleshed out characters for a creature feature movie. They're researching just underwater life and a whole bunch of stuff, and they're also trying to get below this one giant freezing fog mist type thing that's below this, that's they thought was the floor of this trench, but it's not. Jason Statham's ex-wife, the Asian guy from Heroes, sorry, I don't remember his name, and another guy who's a big bearded guy. I didn't catch what other stuff he was in. I'm kind of going off memory for their characters and everything. They go down below, and with a drone, or not like the drone, but a rover, kind of like the Mars rover, only not nearly as expensive. And they see this underwater sea life and everything, all these fissures of like hot water and stuff like that, and they're like, oh my god, this is amazing. All this stuff that we never knew was below. We thought this was the floor, but it's not. Look at all this great sea life. And then their sub gets taken down and disabled, and Jason Statham, his character Jonas, is called upon to rescue them, and then sees the 70-foot megalodon during this rescue mission. And the rest of the movie is basically them either trying to kill it, and of course there's the normal characters of like trying to capture it, like Rainn Wilson's character. Rainn Wilson, Dwight from The Office, who's the billionaire funding this whole damn project. Why is it always evil billionaires that don't look like they've done a damn thing in their life are always the worst kind of people in this? This reminded me of a mix of Deep Blue Sea and Deep Rising. Two very fun movies, actually, two very fun sea creature movies. Though this might side a little more with Deep Blue Sea with the underwater facility, though the creature actions do remind me a bit of Deep Rising. Again, two pretty fun movies. But you also have a character played by actress Bingbing Li, who was in Forbidden Kingdom and a bunch of other movies. I just want to point out, one, she played her role very, very well. The young girl that played her daughter did very, very well. But Bingbing Li, my God, I just looked up her IMDb, and apparently she was born in February of '73. She does not even look like she's above 25. Amazing. Just amazingly beautiful woman. Did very well in this movie also. Cliff Curtis, who was the villain in Collateral Damage, is also in this, and he plays Jason Statham's friend. And there's other people. Paige Kennedy played a character named DJ. I kind of likened his character to what LL Cool J did. as the cook in Deep Blue Sea, though I like LL Cool J's character a whole lot better. And Page Kennedy did fine in it, but they made him unfortunately go from 0 to 60 in stereotypical black pretty quickly, and it got a little overbearing. I mean, I get you need to have some comedy, you need to have ridiculousness. It's not like you can play this shit straight when it's a 70-foot prehistoric shark that comes up from this barrier that you didn't even know was a barrier, you thought was the floor, the sea floor, and starts wreaking havoc on everybody. Yeah, okay, it's like maybe you can't apply too much logic and you need to have some comedy, but some of it seemed overbearing. Also had Ruby Rose in it, who apparently is in Orange is the New Black. I'm not really familiar with her. I've heard the name. Sorry, I'm not that familiar with her. She did fine in it, and other people did very well in this also. No one really had a bad role. The young girl that played the daughter, I think, has got a very bright future. She did very well in this. Played her role fine. Child actors are hit and miss, and I try not to be too hard on child actors, but she did well in this. And had really good chemistry with Jason Statham's character, and there was a lot of good stuff. The writing was witty. The writing was well done. Of course, it was silly as the movie got on because instead of trying to kill the shark, from above where the shark maybe can't get you as long as, you're about 2,000 feet in the air, because let's be fair, it's a 70-foot shark. That thing wouldn't have to jump too far to get you. And thankfully, we didn't see that. But it got sillier as it went along. Of course, they tried a tracking device thing, and then they tried a shark cage that they put in there where Bing Bing Lee's character was going to try to shoot it with a tranq dart. That didn't necessarily work. Big shock. Thankfully, Richard Dreyfuss was not there to find somebody's head in a boat. But yeah, this whole thing where like that shark cage thing doesn't go too well. Her character gets rescued by Jonas, Jason Statham's character. And some silliness there. And there's the budding romance that you would expect. But you sort of believed it. I mean, it seemed forced, but you sort of believed it in there. There was good stuff about it. There was silliness. Of course, at one point, the Megalodon just going to start attacking people on this beach. But before that, the crew thinks that they killed it. They killed the baby Megalodon, the pretty big shark. And then the actual one attacks them and sinks that boat. They managed to get back to Mana One. That's, their research facility, their home base. And there's some betrayal and stuff like that, as you would expect. But besides the shark, there's no real villain that poses any threat. And even the shark doesn't seem like it poses much threat. I know that underwater it's hard to see some things, but you think you wouldn't have a hard time seeing a 70-foot fucking shark. That was a little bit of a logic loophole, but whatever. It's supposed to be a fun little creature feature. And it was. There was this goofy little thing with helicopters towards the end of the movie where they somehow collide with each other, and you don't know how the hell they managed to do that since there's so much damn air around them. You would think that they wouldn't, cluster in about that little bit of a ball. But here's the bottom line. Does the movie deliver on what it's saying? Does it deliver on Jason Statham being the action star that he is and saving the world from a giant megalodon? Yes, it does. And on that note, on that, principle alone, it's worth watching. I watched in 3D and it was worth investing in. I mean, I used passes, so I didn't have to pay $20 a ticket for it. But I did use passes and I got a pretty cheap price for it. It's worth seeing in 3D. There are some really cool visuals. There's some really beautiful shots. I really did enjoy quite a bit of it. I like the chemistry of the characters. The story was almost non-existent because it's about fighting a giant shark. But ultimately, that's what's entertaining about it. Now, I like Deep Blue Sea a little bit more than this. I think Deep Blue Sea played it a little more for comedy than this did. This one tried to play it a little bit too straight, which was fine. I sort of got why they were doing it, but everybody understood what it was. I just think the script, which apparently the screenplay was written by 3 people, I have a very hard time believing that because it was a very simple story. Yeah, giant shark. Kill it. There you go. It eats people at some point. It eats people on a beach. Or, they're playing off of a beach. And there's a lot of good stuff in this. So I mean, yeah, there aren't way too many spoilers I'm doing in here, but there are plenty of characters that die. There are times where it's like some characters are splashing around, and then there are other characters trying to get away. They're splashing around, and yet somehow it's only the shark only focuses on this one person instead of like a few other people that are swimming away. Logic loopholes, whatever. Is it entertaining? Yes, it is. I'm gonna give it a B. It is a very entertaining movie. It's not great. It's not something you need to rush out and see, but if you watch it, you will enjoy it. So anyway, that's what I gotta say. Do you agree? Do you disagree with what I said? Have you seen The Meg? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you thought. Do you think it compares to Deep Blue Sea and Deep Rising? Do you think it's better? Are there movies that you compared it to that I just simply forgot? Let me know. Like, share, subscribe. Also, it's been Real Honesty with John Ritland, my review of The Meg, and I will see you soon.